Okay, so I feel the need to kind of warn everybody as to what they should be expecting to happen in the coming weeks in the aftermath of this Charlie Kirk thing, right? Because this did not happen in a vacuum, and that's important to remember as things start to play out. Because a few really important things have already happened, right? With no knowledge or confirmation as to who committed this crime or whether or not authorities have any inkling or clue as to who he could be or she could be or they could be, right? No idea who committed this crime, but you already see dangerous calls for political violence and the condemnation of half the country's population. The President of the United States himself, with no absolute definitive proof as to who committed this crime, has decided unto himself that the left wing is guilty. Now, I know you're going to want to say, well, of course it was the left wing. He was a right wing commentator. I will remind you that the person who tried to shoot Donald Trump was a Donald Trump supporter. I will remind you that political extremism isn't rational or logical, and that Charlie Kirk has as many enemies on the right as he does on the left, because believe it or not, there are fringe elements on the right that find Charlie Kirk to be too mainstream. I know that seems strange to you and I, but it's true. In the coming weeks, you're going to see increased calls to release the Epstein files. They are one signature away from a discharge petition. Chuck Schumer is trying to force a vote in the Senate, but something else really important is happening in the next few weeks, and that is a looming government shutdown. Yes, another one. How do you know there's a government shutdown coming? Well, Republicans are in charge of Congress, and every single time that they've been in charge of Congress for the last, 20 years, there's been a government shutdown. It's one of the few things you can set your fucking watch to these days. But September 30th, the country's government runs out of money. And Donald Trump already has a case in front of the Supreme Court where he's trying to steal power of the purse by getting the Supreme Court to rule that he is in fact allowed to rule on tariffs. As if this same Supreme Court doesn't have a justice on it that was there for Clinton versus the city of New York, where the legislative branch cannot just willy-nilly hand over their rights to another branch, but we'll see if that holds true. Sure, it was a conservative that made the argument,